First thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the public hearing meeting on 12/1/16. That was where we were looking at the grant that we're gonna apply for. Everybody have a chance?
Quick accepting was handed out.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting which followed on 12/1/16. Everybody had a chance to look at them. Any deletions or add-ons? Do I get a motion?
I make a motion.
We have a motion.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it, carries. Department reports. I see that Danny's not here tonight, so we'll go with the police report. Chief Rhodes. Thank you, sir.
Monthly activity report I gave you is for December. We had 167 vehicle stops performed. We answered 126 calls, made 21 arrests. We had 55 citations. We had 137 warning citations. We patrolled a total of 6,085 miles for an average of 65.4 miles per shift. And that's our monthly stats, unless anybody has any questions. The only other thing I've got is, first off, we've had another officer-involved shooting here in the county. If y'all would pray for the incident that happened today. I'm not sure of any details or anything yet, but if you would keep everybody up there in your thoughts and prayers, I appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but it's a tragic situation all the way around. So please pray for them if you would. The second thing I've got is a couple months ago I came from the city council, asked permission to file a grant for the Office of Criminal Justice Program for $15,000 for replacement of our car cameras. Our car cameras in these patrol cars are a little over 12 years old. We're starting to have a few issues out of them, so we applied for the grant. $15,000 is for updated equipment. We got it awarded the grant yesterday. Good. So we're replacing 5 cameras. Mine in my car is fairly new. It's only about 6 years old, so I've got some life left on it. But when I put it in the grant, I put enough in there to cover all the older cameras. So that's what we'll be doing with that money. It's a 100% grant. The only obligation we have to do, we have to pay for it up front. Then we have to apply back to the federal government to get our money back, kind of like the body cameras. We'll start on that. It's a 6-month grant. I have to have it complete and all the car cameras installed within 6 months of the project date, which is January 1. So we're going to start on that pretty quick. I just need to get with Tina and make sure property taxes, stuff like that's in, because that was a little not expenditure we expected to have up front. So I'll get with her. The only other thing I have is with the video cameras. These things are a little more complicated than they used to be. I could probably get them installed myself, but they're a little more complicated. There's like 4 different cameras with these things, and some sound and different things. So it's a little more complicated, and I think it's a little more than I need to tackle. We probably need to have those professionally installed, and what I'm doing is asking the city council your opinion. Truckers Lighthouse has done our installation of all of our other stuff in the past. Andy up there at Truckers Lighthouse, I think, would probably send us a technician to do that, so we don't have to drive these cars plumb to Nashville. Officer stay with them, pay the officer, and the officer stay up there all day and then drive the car back, and let's do that 5 different times. So what I plan on doing is, at the city council's leisure, if they don't mind, is us looking at a price quote. If they maybe coming here and doing that per car, I think if they come here, we might be able to, they could knock it out in a day, depending. Of course, they do that all the time, so it'll be a lot quicker than me going to it and trying to figure it out. So, but I just like to get permission from the city council to to kind of look at that, to have that professionally installed. So that would be the only cost to us over the $15,000 worth of cameras, would be the installation.
Anybody have any discussion on that? I think we discussed it last time when we was getting the lights and stuff.
Right.
There's several people that do it, but Trucker Lighthouse give us the best deal. And usually they stand behind the work. I know we had an issue and they came down here and sent a technician, didn't charge us anything. So everybody's aware of what's going on. I don't have a problem. Just get with Bobby and give him the quotes and stuff.
We'll try to get those done probably first next week or so, try to get that quote back, and I see most of you in town, I'll kind of let you know what it is to, because I'm not sure what the price will be for all 5 cars, so it could be over my limit or Mr. Taylor's limit, so if it is, then I'll get with the mayor and the rest of the council and see what y'all say from there. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Anybody got any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Next on the agenda is fire report, Chief Pendergraft. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, appreciate it. Want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and the top page that you got there is our year-end report for 2016. I kind of stapled them backwards, but for the total year last year, we had 115 calls total. You can look across at your bottom totals. High increase in wrecks last year. We had 33 wrecks, which is pretty high, and Alan can attest to this. Our big trouble areas right now is Peabody 41A is our big trouble area, and I know that we've talked about that here, that may be the future next red light in Estill, but that's our big trouble spot here lately. It's been Peabody and 41A. That's where we've been having a lot of them at. It's kind of moved away from UTSI and kind of went this way. A lot of it's due to that blind hill. When you're sitting there coming out of there, that hill's gonna get you every time. But that's just something to keep in the back of your mind, that it may be coming quicker than what we think, but that's our biggest trouble spot. December we picked up. We was kind of busy. We run 2 weeks solid there. It seemed like nonstop for December. On your next page, we had 16 calls. And if you'll look at that, 7 of those was wrecks. Out of those 7, 2 of those is our second trouble spot in our city, which is that page after you cross the bridge and around the curve. Once you hit that spot, it's kind of iffy on whose county and whose city type thing, but I'd like to see that road get repaved if they don't do nothing except from the bridge and around the curve to keep that. But when it sprinkles or it rains, we're guaranteed to have something out there in that area. So, other than that, things going good. Everything seems to be looking good. I want to thank the board for everything they've done for the fire department at Christmas time and everything in between. The guys really appreciate all the stuff that was given to them over that course of time. Other than that, if anybody's got any questions, I'll take any questions. Nothing? Thank you, Mayor.
It was a joint effort between the board and the employees, with what we did for Christmas, and everybody deserved what they got.
Good, really
Wish we could've
appreciate it.
got more.
Thank you, Mr.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Danny's not here. I guess Earl and JD will cover if we got anything in the public works. Mr. Hires called me earlier. He had a fire meeting in Nashville. He asked if we had anything on the agenda for him, and I said not at this time. If we need you, Jimmy, we'll call you. So he won't be here tonight. So Alderman reports is Vice Mayor Davis.
Well, I've got, Dennis left this part about the water. I'll probably have to get him to come back and interpret part of it, but it shows we pumped 9,900,000 gallons, 9,900,000 gallons. But he's got it down here, we sold 10 million. would come with a plus.
Which
But
is
it come down, our usage was zero, and I think what it was probably the days that they
Oh, the
read
billing.
and where it was, you know, we usually end up with a little deficit because by the time it's billed, we've already got some metered, but it's showing we had zero loss, and that'd be real good. But I know that's not hardly in there. But other than that, anything really outstanding, everything's going pretty good. That I had maintenance was talking a little bit about the water department on our handheld meter readers, and so we've run into a problem there that they no longer want to support the models we have. So I did a little research into it with them, and over the years we have had a up version of meter readers that we really didn't need. We use a manual input. These were designed to where they could be a radio. But to do that, you have to have all the meters and so forth in place to do that, several $1,000s. Well, to replace these made a substantial difference. That when we do replace them, which we're looking at least going through now, Tina's got a rental unit, and I've had the other unit repaired that we had to where to get by, but we're looking at now going from a $10,000 a piece to $5,000 paid. They're about essentially half price to get the one that we're using. But all that, we're looking at maybe in the next budget year, if we have to replace them, we can replace one at a time and do into that. But everything going good. I don't know if anybody else, do I have any complaint? I don't have anything else.
Thank you, sir. Sounds good. We do have good water. That's one good thing we have is water. Alderman Sons?
Yes, sir, we had loaded 80.49 tons of garbage last month. We loaded 26 ton of garbage a week after Christmas. That's a whole lot to be handled by hand. And we replaced 3 of the guardrails on Rock Creek Road, and we're gonna replace more of them. We've got them all on the, going toward Rock Creek School, all on the right, left there, we got them done. Now we started up the upper end and coming back on the right.
It looked good too.
Yeah, they do.
So, and other than that, and we do, if anything happens on the snow or whatever, we got salt and stuff to handle some of that.
Okay. On that, and
There was something else too that I wondered, I haven't had much talk about in the water. But since Charlie has come back and got his,
yeah, I'll bring it up and then we'll discuss it. If you want to, we can do it now.
we might
On, and I'm Chief's here, and I know the other night we had a tree down, and one of the officers called one of the boys that worked on the street department, and he said, well, he didn't actually get the phone call, but he got it the next morning, and he was asking me whether can an officer approve overtime for him to come out and cut that tree up or come out at nighttime. I told him probably I was gonna get with you, chief, or either one of y'all chiefs, that if we have anything at nighttime, and it usually comes through dispatch or something, if we can try to call the alderman and let him know. If you can't, call me, you can always get a hold of me. But if it's an emergency situation that we need to clear the road and stuff, we need to get somebody out there.
Be more glad to call Mr. Sons at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't bother me, Hawk.
You call me later than that.
I didn't say I'd answer it now, but you called.
But
Bring coffee when you come.
I want to talk to Danny about that, because, you know, if it's a situation like a tree across the road, and it's a hazard, or if it's a bad water leak and it's hazardous to somebody driving, we as a board, we want it took care of. We don't care to pay the overtime, but I can see where that employee says, well, a police officer's not my boss. I want to go, but I hate to go too. So if it's an emergency, I don't mind, give me a call if you call somebody and they can't come, or you can't get, usually you have to go to Danny's house. I know a lot of times he don't answer the phone after he gets off, But, anytime we need somebody in this situation, just tell them if they've got any thoughts to call one of us or call me.
I'll
We
take care,
want-
I have them call me and then I'll take care of
We
me.
got them loaders and all, we move a lot of stuff.
Well, Danny brought the backhoe that night, but it was late, early in the morning, late at night, early in the morning.
Yeah,
So the officer had to make the decision to make the call. The tree
and he
was
didn't do
crossing-
anything wrong.
Yeah, the
It's
tree was
just that
across the
that-
road and it was in a bad spot down there at Hickory Hill and you wouldn't see it, and he was the only officer on, so he needed to get.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything wrong, it's just that that employee was afraid that officer didn't have the authority for him to come out and work. And I told him, yeah, if it's any way, it's a situation that's got any hazard to it, we won't, I don't care who gives authority. You know, if you see something out there and you're an employee and you need to get it out or get help in, do it, call me. If you can't get a hold of nobody, if it's a bad situation, just take it upon yourself, I'll take care of it. But, I just want to let JD and Earl know, you know, and the rest of the board know that.
We try not to bother.
Yeah.
Unless we just, I mean, it's just a have-to thing. He actually thought he was in the county at night, and ended up being right at the city limits, so, but usually we don't call them unless it's an emergency. Now the snow, when the snow falls and the ice roads get icy, we kinda wait for the last minute to call it. So
Yeah.
we do our best, but I'll make sure we get the proper channels done.
And we do a good job, and that's the same thing with the fire department. If y'all out on a wreck or something and you need a backhoe to clear something out or, you know, give me a call or any of them, but if you can't get hold of us and you have to make the decision, you'll make the right decision. We've got faith in you or we wouldn't have you.
Well, what I'll do, Mr. Kelly, on our end is, if we have to make the call, I'll make the call, or I'll get Mr. Summers first thing at next morning, let him know what's going on,
Yeah.
so he knows what's going on.
And that's what I told this employee. I just want to get on that.
I'll just screen it, Mr. Kelly, that way, make sure that they're needed before, I'll let him call, good enough.
Mr. Sons, you have anything else?
No, sir.
Well, I hope we don't get no snow.
I do too.
Alderman Taylor,
I don't have anything,
thank you, sir.
except I'm gonna have knee replacement Monday.
Yeah, we all need to keep Bobby on our prayers. He's gonna have a knee replacement, be out a little while, but,
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything to report.
okay. Can you give us an update on the field? Did they get the dirt moved?
They did.
I know they've been doing a lot of work down there on the dugout and stuff.
They did. They've been doing a lot of work. They've got it all leveled off. The problem was it was where it's been scraped so many years, it was holding water. So they took it in, got it all leveled up, smoothed out, planted new grass. Been doing a bunch of work, bunch of painting to the buildings, bunch of dugout. You know, thanks for the good help that Little League's been helping out with. But it's about to start kicking back up. We actually having tryout or sign up starting Saturday. So that tells you it won't be much longer before it'll be back up and kicking. But it's gonna look really good.
I don't know if anybody's been in the park lately, but we've got a problem down there with cats. I've had 2 people this week contact me about all those cats down there. And I live across the highway, so I've noticed in my yard, I've got about 7 new cats that's migrated up into the subdivision. My neighbor's dog died from parvo, took it to the vet. They said that the cats had transferred it to him, and then we've had 2 dogs in that neighborhood in the last month that's died from parvo because of cats. Talked to Franklin County Animal day before yesterday, and cats are classified as a free roaming animal. They can't capture them, but they're just like a possum or a skunk or a deer or anything else. But they did tell us that they would give us cages, and if we caught them, they could pick them up. So that's something that we're going to really have to take a look at, because I was down there and they're starting to inbreed, and there's some rough-looking cats down there. And when the park opens up this summer, there's probably 25 or 30 or more down there.
I counted 35 the other day and that wasn't all of them.
And there's someone's feeding them because they're putting beds down there for them and feeding them on a regular basis. we may have to, you know, put that to a halt. Because, you know, they keep breeding and keep having kittens, it's gonna get worse, not better. So that's something we can look into during, I know Earl goes down there quite a bit, and JD, if we can kind of get a hold of that for the summer.
Okay, take care of it.
Thank you, sir. On the mayor's report and comments, as everyone knows, and I've been talking to you on the side about Charlie Tallwater received his grade 3 water plant certification. And he went and took all 3 in one day. It's like a 29% chance of passing it on the first time, and he was the only one in his class that passed it that day, passed all 3. So he's got his grade 3 water plant certification. And I know I talked to Earl and I talked to JD. I don't think I've talked to Bobby or Derek about giving him a little raise to get him up a little bit better, because he is certified to work the plant. Has anybody got any comments? Earl, that's your department. Have you come up with a figure?
Well, I thought we kind of talked about something like $1.50.
We did look at
$1.50 right now. He still lacks one certification.
He likes one certification, and I forgot which one it is, but he told me that he cannot take that test until November, because after he took these 3, he couldn't take that test for a year. It's distribution. I think that's right, that's what he told me. And he's got to wait a year, and it'll be in November, and he plans on taking that. And Scott's got his, Danny, of course, has got his, and I think we need to get close to Scott, but not get it in what Scott's got until he gets that distribution.
Right, I don't think we need to work him up. We need to bring him up.
I know.
That'd be a good, I think that'd be a fair start, and I hope it, keep it.
I know me and JD talked. JD wasn't too far off from my figures that I looked at, and I think me and JD came to what, $14.50 on what?
Yeah, it's Earl's department, or what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's under Scott.
It's
What'd
about
be it?
$1 and something under Scott.
I think that should
It's over
be done
$1.
right then, wouldn't it?
And then when he gets that next year, he would.
Something else.
Yeah.
If you brought him to $14.50, you're right about $1.75
Yeah.
raise.
Well, somewhere in
And
that
then
neighborhood.
he's just a little, I mean,
It's
he'll
about
be
$1.10 or $0.20.
about
less.
$1.10 from where Scott's at.
Yeah,
That's a good comfortable range to
Whatever
be
we're
in.
talking, whatever agree with, is somewhere along as we bring him up, give him a reasonable raise for doing what he did.
Y'all got any comments, Derek, you or Bobby? Or-
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
I know we would have worked this out in a work session, but
Yeah.
because of the holidays, we didn't do that, and I apologize
Yeah.
to everybody about it. But, if somebody wants to make a motion,
I'll make a
$14.50.
I'll make, well,
Let Earl make it, and I second it.
Do that.
I'll make the motion to, like I said, bring him up to
$14.50.
Right, if that means, whatever that means, an increase to.
And when he gets his distribution, next year, we would look at another raise.
Right,
That's that.
I have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
I got it. I'll
JD
second it.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that'll take care of Charlie. And, that'll start, maybe, because he's been doing it for a couple, with it, he got them in December, and we hadn't had a meeting, so he's been doing it about a month, so we need to start that immediately.
Yeah, right.
Alrighty. Thank y'all.
Do you want to address the issue about the garbage cans, just getting some people buy that big garbage can?
The what?
Didn't you say somebody had already been buying the big
Yes,
garbage cans?
yep. There has been some people bought the big cans. And I told Tina we need to put it on something on the water bill to say that we'll be available to handle big cans in 3 or 4 months from now. But Danny and them has been tagging them because they can't handle them. So, but people need to know to not do away with them and carry them back, because we'll be able to handle them, ultimately. They tagged some that didn't dump their garbage, and we want people to understand why.
I think all the talk about getting a garbage truck and all that stuff, and then we had some people going and buying that big garbage can. Well, we don't have the means to dump that big garbage can. So, and we did put something on the garbage. The only thing we could put on the bill was that, you know, maximum gallons is 45 gallons right now. I mean, because we don't have a room to put a lot of stuff on there.
Right.
But, I mean, people just need to, I mean, if they've got them, they need to hold on to them, but I mean, we just don't, the guys don't have the means yet to pick
Is
them
it,
up.
is it a whole lot of people or just one or two?
Well, it was not a whole lot, it's, I think 3 or 4 people that done it. Danny told me that they did. And they tagged them, I said, well, somebody needs to go up and explain to the people
Yeah.
what happened.
If we could get a list of who done it, we could send them a letter, or, you know, if it's just a few, I could even do some calling or go by and see
I just,
them, I don't mind
you know, I
that.
thought if you could put something on the water bill,
Water bill.
just
We can.
condense something to say that in like 4 months, we'll have the capability of handling the larger cans. Just something, or maybe send a letter out to everybody or something, I don't know,
Yeah,
something simple. Because there's a lot of folks out, you know,
see, the thing
What?
about, if you send letters out, you're gonna get into postage and stuff.
yeah, well, maybe,
If it's a very few that we can talk to the boards of garbage, if they can tell us, we can send those ones a letter to make sure, go by and talk to them.
I had a guy come in the store this morning, the Cumberland termite guy. He come in this morning, you know, I said, we're talking, he wanna know when could he buy the bigger cans? Cause they wanna go buy the bigger cans. So you know, there's people out there, and I've had a lot of my neighborhood wants to know when they can get
Yeah.
them.
We probably need to get it on the air or something, you know, WCT or something, and let the people know it, or WZYX in Callan. And maybe if there's a few, we can go notify. I don't mind doing it. But that truck won't be here probably till March. And you can't March, and you can't guarantee the delivery time on it. It's been ordered, but you know, they say 60 days and 90 days, and it may be 120 days, so we just need to hold off on the big garbage cans. If we can spread the word around.
We just don't wanna get rid of them.
Yeah, because we will be able to handle them when we get this new truck, because it's gonna have a lift on it that you just roll the garbage can in, it hooks it, flips it over and dumps it, and it'll save the men's back, because I'm telling you, if you've worked on back that garbage truck, I've went out a few times where they've had complaints, and some garbage cans, 2 or 3 good boys can't pick up some of them what they put in them. But that's, we can maybe talk with the boys on the truck to be on, when they tag them, to put some kind of note on there, if we can maybe write up a tag or something that they can hang on the big ones this next week, and let the people know that they are coming. That might be the best way to get the message out there, JD,
Yeah,
is put some kind of tag on that big garbage can, tell them,
right.
not yet, but coming soon.
That's a good idea, we'll do that.
All right, that's, really, I want to thank everybody for Christmas and New Year's, and hope everybody had a good holidays. I know everything's going awful smooth now, and that's because of the board and our employees, and I really appreciate it. Makes everything smoother for me. Old business, we have none. New business, we have the financial report for the November 2016. Everybody had a chance to read and look over it.
Yeah, I move we accept it.
We have a motion to accept it. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? So be it. Resolution number 17-392 is reapplying for the CDBG grant funded to purchase the early warning. It's something we had the special call meeting on in December with Lori Fisher and with the public meeting, and we all agreed to it, to reapply. Last time we just barely missed out on it. It's not just a siren, it's a warning device that'll alert our neighborhoods of different kinds of weather, different kinds of hazards. It's something that will really help us in our fire department, our police, first responders. It also help our neighborhoods where they'll be alerted if we have a train derail. It gives off different signals for different stuff. It does several things. I know Mr. David Pendergraph, our chief, has worked hard on this, and the board agreed to go ahead with this, and I signed the paperwork on it. I just need,
We need to realize though, our
Yeah.
pocket is more this year.
yeah. Everybody had a chance to look at the resolution. It's $136.84.
But now this year, we have to, instead of the city funding $6,800, we would be required to fund $20,000. Because apparently, we were part of that, the county was part of that 3-star program. Well, our fund rate went from 5% to 15%. That was with the county, so that is a big jump from $6,800 to $20,000. So I wanna make sure that y'all know that if it's funded, we're gonna be required
Required.
to put out more money.
So we need to get a motion on that too. Do I have a motion on it? We can still apply for the grant and, when we get it, when we decide not to take it at the time, or funds are not there or something, we can always deny it. This is, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? All right, that's all I have. Anybody on the board have anything else that they want to bring up at this time?
Mayor, I had one thing I forgot to mention in my report. The
Yes, sir.
4-hour packs, we did get them ordered. They should be here next Thursday at drill. So we'll be going over the training on them and getting our fit testing on all that for those. Should be here Thursday.
By next Thursday.
They should be supposed to be coming to drill Thursday to do all our fit testing and our training on those 4 packs. I forgot to tell you my report on that.
If any alderman wants to drop by, doors are always open at the fire.
6:30. And if you don't make it, we'll bring one to the next board meeting or kind of display it. But if you want to come over and take a gander at the new pack, and you're more than welcome to come over there.
Thank you, sir.
If you don't show up, you're welcome to stay and see what we got going on anyway. So.
Thank you, sir. All righty, I adjourn this meeting.